Hello, Anthony.
Hello, Claudine.
We're back continuing to talk about FATCA. We've had a great series going so far.
That's right.
Check out our playlists. Today we want to talk about the insanity of FATCA compliance.
And this is going to be hard for people to truly understand that how crazy all of this is. And some of the things, we're going to go over some of the IRS's own figures on what it takes to be in compliance with FATCA, in particular Form 8938, the FATCA form.
Yes.
I have such a form in front of me now. It's blank. No client information is on here. And it is just such a lovely form. And we'll be specifically talking about Part 4, because that's really, even though it's only this much, if you can see on the screen, it's only this much. But boy, is there a lot of hidden time in there. Oh, boy.
There is. And we've done some in-depth videos and articles as well on the reporting thresholds. So you figure out if you have to report, reporting deadlines, and also talk about what specified foreign assets are. How do you know what to put on these forms? I mean, that's where you've got
right,
to
and there's
start.
some surprises there. I mean, there's surprises there. Foreign life insurance. And there's a whole bunch of nasty surprises there. Foreign pensions. Those are the sort of things. And also real estate. I think maybe this would be a great way to go in here. This is something that comes up. It came up today in a meeting with one of our clients who's a big fan of the podcast. I'll give a shout out to whatever city he might be in that has Steelers as a professional team, whatever city that could be. I was thinking out loud, and he goes, you might want to consult your podcast because you answered the question in there. It's like, oh, yeah. I did. I actually had to go up and see Robert Hansen, who said that. He's like, well, according to your own podcast. And it came down to this. If you have foreign real estate, okay, do you have to put it on an 8938? The answer is no, as long as it's titled in your name. Remember from that other day, and that's what it came down to. It was like, oh, no, we don't. We don't have to include it in the 5% penalty base for Streamline either. However, if it's titled in a foreign corporation, that goes on. Well, the first firm we're going to talk about, Form 5478, 5471. Wow, they're all combining now. Because when we're looking at Form 8938, we get to Part 4, because this is your exempted specified foreign financial assets. Accepted, not exempted. That is, you are reporting them, but you're reporting them on another form. For foreign corporations, you're going to report them on Form 5471. Okay? Because the IRS says, well, we don't want you to have to report it duplicative. That's what they say. They actually say, like, well, you know, we don't want to burden people with compliance by making them put down the same thing more than once. Like, okay.
But you're making us put down the same thing more than once, basically. 8938,
and then, well, like your FBAR form, you're like, so you don't see anything there? You don't see an issue there? Like, when you're making us put down all our income on our 1040, now, well, we need to know the asset that's generating the income because it's overseas, and that makes it magical. So we need to know that. So it's like, well, this is all sort of a waste of time. If someone wants to lie on their income tax, they can lie on an 8938 just as well. Not there.
It's not a magical form.
Right. It doesn't tell you the
ink.
Truth. Right. Ooh, wait a second. We could say, right. Exactly. I mean, come on. It's ridiculous. So it's just a huge cost. By the way, the 8938... This is what the IRS estimates for time. Okay. Their own is learning about the law or their form, 57 minutes, which I would say a lie.
57 minutes. Didn't you go to law school for 4 years?
I went 3 years. 3 years. But learning about the law or the form. Well, I don't know. We're on our what video is this on our FATCA series?
Oh, probably 9 or 10.
9 or 10. I don't think we have a lot of fluff in it.
No.
9 or 10 minutes. It's like we're already past 57 minutes by a lot.
Yeah.
And we're sort of dialing down the intensity a little bit to make it a little bit more accessible. So do you think this is the IRS's 13-page document of the instructions for Form 8938. And
is reading that included in that 57 minutes?
That's right. It's like, well, this is the instructions. This isn't even the law. And it's referring to your Treasury sections, 301.770(1)B-7A1. So, I mean, you have to refer to this Treasury section. I'm assuming you're going to have to go online to learn about this, to learn about the law and the form. Seems like they're undershooting
57 minutes.
Exactly how long it would take to learn about Form 8938. Now, for preparing the form, they have 2 hours, 52 minutes. That's pretty good.
Okay.
And then copying, assembling, and sending the form to the IRS, 48 minutes. Okay. But when they say preparing the form 2 hours and 52 minutes, what they mean is, yeah, that's if you don't have any other forms. If you're just doing this, if you don't have anything, if you don't have a foreign partnership, if you don't have a foreign trust, if you don't have a foreign corporation. Because if you do, oh, there's some fun that comes up.
Okay.
So 5471 is back to that. So let's just say that you do have real estate overseas or any corporation, anything that's titled in a foreign corporation, which you are a shareholder over 10%. Well, there's a whole bunch of rules. There's other rules, just more than...
Depends.
Yeah, it depends. There you go. There's a correct answer. So we have, the IRS says for 5471, and this is where people are calling us for like, hey, how much is this going to cost to get into compliance? Hey, let's just talk about regular year compliance, okay? So 5471, to do the record keeping,
Okay.
the IRS says, expect about 82 hours and 45 minutes.
That's a lot of minutes and hours.
I'm like, if they were working full time, that would be a little over 2 weeks.
Wow.
You'd have 2 hours, 45 minutes of overtime in a 2 week period. Now, to understand the form, now just and to put this in perspective, this right here is your 8938 instructions which are 14 pages long.
Okay.
Okay. And the IRS says that's going to take you 57 minutes. So to understand the 5471, you're going to expect about 16 hours, 14 minutes. You'll understand it.
Wow.
Yeah, that's what we're talking about when it comes to this foreign taxation and how the IRS treats it. This is sort of the analogy that I put in there. So China has a very heavy-handed way to keep its capital from fleeing the country. They put capital controls on it. We're not going to let you do it. It's going to be hard for you to do it. The United States has a very ingenious, passive-aggressive way of doing it. Your Form 5471.
Go ahead. Put your money overseas.
You could do anything. You're free to go. You're free to be with anyone you want to be. We're free to have an open relationship. Sure.
Yes.
Go do it. Sure. You know what? Why don't you invest it? That's great. Oh, yeah. So we have this little form we're going to want you to fill out. Now that you've gone and you have your foreign entities, right? Yeah. So to learn about the form, right? So that was to learn about the form was 16 hours, 14 minutes.
Okay, good.
Now 24 hours, 17 minutes to fill out the form. Now, you ready? There's more in the package.
Okay.
More in the package. There's other schedules usually needed.
Okay.
Schedule M, J, and depending on which form, you can expect another 32 hours, 58 minutes.
Okay.
It's like at this point, why don't we just say 1 million?
Yeah.
It's okay. You guys are getting to a ridiculous amount of time. Now, that's just if you have one 5471. Okay. A lot of people have more than one.
Oh.
Yeah. Now, I mean, the good news is, you hire us, we already know the form. We don't, sometimes we have a question, a little question here and there. So we're not relearning the form all the time. This is for, I mean, and I would say you would have to be exceptionally intelligent to do this. And you would have to be so exceptionally intelligent in order to do this on your own, yet not intelligent enough to find a job that pays you enough money so that you don't have to deal with this.
Well, and exceptionally intelligent, we've said this before with the IRS, just because you're exceptionally intelligent doesn't mean you understand the tax code.
Right.
That's a whole different type of intelligence.
Well, and I think a stamina, a mental stamina that you're not somebody who doesn't get frustrated easy. I also imagine you as one of those people who could hold your hand over a candle. I could do it for 5 minutes. Flesh is burning and you could still do it. You are just that, you are just that awesome.
That's going to be the new interview process here.
I could do it. That's basically what it is. This is just absolutely torturous. The amount of time to do, the IRS, according to the IRS, and this is just because on your 8938, in Part 4, you would say, because it says Part 4, in line item 3, number of forms 5471.
Wow.
Number of forms. Wow. Well, I have a few. And again, they're putting on here because they don't want to be duplicative. We're looking to streamline your time. We understand. So it's like, where is the due process in this, that you have a property interest in your time. And look, the IRS is going to take them whatever they think they should take from you as far as money. But what gives them a right to force you, to chop off your foot? I mean, that's what they're doing. They're like, well, we're going to make you do all this work. Hey, how about this? Why don't you give me the bill? How about that?
Oh, wow.
Why don't you guys go and do all this work? Oh, we don't have the time to do that. We couldn't possibly do that. We certainly don't have the resources. We don't have enough intelligent people here. There's not enough intelligent people in the world who's ever lived who can do all of this. So why don't you go ahead and do it there, taxpayer?
How's that foreign investment working out for you?
So you guys, you want to revisit? Maybe you want to keep it in the U.S., right? Maybe invest, there's a lot of great states that you can invest in. Keep it here. Maybe your friends at Wall Street.
Oh,
you like that.
No
you like
forms there.
You just give it to. They'll give you a 1099. What more? Why would you want to go overseas? Right. Yep. So let's talk about some of the other ones too, because we're not done yet.
No. We've got Form 3520. If you've got a foreign gift or bequest form from a trust, form a trust.
Yep.
Time estimate is just shy of an additional 50 hours.
50 hours. Now, were you on? Wait. Were you on the 3520A or the 3520?
Oh, I'm sorry, the 3520.
All right.
What about the 3520A?
That's 42 hours.
Oh, okay.
You got to remember. I have a mnemonic. Unfortunately, I didn't have a mnemonic to remember my mnemonic, so I don't have it right now. But there is the 3520 is 50 hours.
3520A is 42 hours.
Anticipate to spend 8 hours less? No, that's not it.
No,
that's
not the one.
Okay.
What about Form 8858?
Foreign partnership, 40 hours.
Oh.
Partnerships, streamlined, simplified, 40 hours. That's 40. Pretty good. Yep.
Piece of cake. PFIX, we've talked a lot about.
Yeah, there's PFIC, the IRS puts that at 48 hours. And PFIX can be, passive foreign investment companies, it seems like a bigger thing than it is. It's really a foreign mutual fund in most cases, also a foreign hedge fund. Because basically, you know what, you're probably better off having an interest in a foreign hedge fund, because in that case, you're actually probably making enough money to counteract the accounting work done. Some PFICs aren't so bad. If it's a set it and forget it thing, it's usually not so bad. But when there's trading involved, we actually have exceeded that on certain ones.
Wow.
We've actually 40 hours. We've blown that away. It could be far, far worse.
Worse than 48 hours.
Yep, it can be. That's something. Yeah, depending on the trades, it can get pretty rough. Now, was that all our forms?
I think that is.
We did our E621.
All right, so you talk, and I'm going to figure out total number of hours.
Okay.
Potentially.
So give somebody one of each.
Okay.
One of each.
All right. And you can continue to talk about
I'm going to talk about
how stupid it is.
All right. Well, I would just say that we try to tell people, and this is something that I encounter with a lot of attorneys overseas, that they're trying to figure out, I don't get this. Can't be that much. I mean, you're just talking about online forms. How hard could it be to figure out a tax bill?
Right.
And you know what? I understand that perspective, because in a lot of these countries, like a state that has to raise revenue, they're not into all of this crap. They just want the money. So just give us a return. Here's your bill. Okay, here's your money. But with the federal government, revenue, I'm convinced, is incidental to the income tax code. It's really not about that. It's about control. Revenue is part of control. And this is a quote that I got from the Mises Institute, and it's really the income tax, the IRS, is the product of an unholy combine between statist intellectuals with visions of state-sponsored utopias, envious demagogues, and the desire by established wealthy interests to prevent any competition to their place and to offload business costs to an expanding regulatory welfare state. That is what we're talking about with the IRS. It's just not to raise revenue, or again, revenue is incidental. This is a mechanism by which a centralized power is able to be the power broker. Because we have all this power, we can pick who wins and who loses. Therefore, corporation, you pay me for a favor to you. You pay me. Therefore, I'm always central. If you're inside a trenched power, you're centralized. If it was just about revenue, you're not needed as much. You're not as essential. So this is what it's about, and this is how it's done through things like this. So what do we have for time?
All right, so...
Hold on, let me take a guess. 211 hours.
262.
Okay.
Okay, so that's 11 straight days working 24 hours straight to fill out the forms needed,
Wow.
assuming that the IRS has correctly given you the proper amount of time. And I'm guessing most of these are pretty grossly underestimated.
So if we were working work days, if we're working 40 hours, so we have about 6 weeks.
Yep.
So, and I mean, there it is. It's, the tax freedom day is always later and later. The day in the year in which the money that you earn now is what you get to keep. It always gets later and later, some's May or June. But really, that tax freedom day, for those who invest overseas, I don't know, it's sometime in October, I guess, where, when you're really done, when you're actually done with all of this. By the way, and anyone who was wondering, like these forms, 3520, 8621, 3520A, 8865, 5471, aren't really part of FATCA. Okay, right. They existed prior to FATCA. However, 8938 does reference it, but this is underlying the whole insanity of it. These reporting requirements were already in place. So this magical thinking that FATCA was going to unleash all this revenue is, of course, complete nonsense.
It's silly.
It's complete nonsense, and there was really no one there to challenge the complete nonsense.
Mm-hmm. Well, hopefully we're challenging it a little, as much as we can.
Oh, and we're going to have a guest on our podcast soon.
Next Wednesday.
The
10th.
The 10th
Jim
of February.
Jatras, from repealfatca.com.
Yeah, so that'd be great.
Yeah. I'm excited about that. So thanks for watching. Hopefully we helped a little bit to understand some of the craziness that is FATCA and FATCA compliance. And what you can do is actually subscribe to our channel for updates. We're going to be doing some podcasts on the penalties for individuals and banks if you don't do this reporting correctly or if you don't do it at all. Thanks for watching. IRS Medic, the law offices of Parent LLP. Real tax attorneys for tough tax problems.